G'day everybody, welcome to the Bothy. Last week we did our 75-day review on Donald Trump, but so much has happened in the last week we thought we'd do another review just 1 week later.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump, eh?
Yeah, the man's he's got a lot going on, isn't he?
He does have a lot going on. So we'll just do a quick update on the tariffs. Obviously, since we spoke, we thought he might have been bluffing and bullying a bit, and we were right.
Yeah.
So he's rolled back tariffs for everybody except China to 10%.
Yeah.
Yep. The China tariffs are 145% to China and 125% to the US from China.
Yeah.
Although there's talk last night of those tariffs going up to 245 on some material because China have said no more rare earth minerals, and they've cancelled 200 orders with
airplanes
with Boeing.
Yeah, Boeing.
And the US airlines have also, not because of China, they've also cancelled orders with Airbus, which is a French company, because they can't afford even a 10% tariff. China has released a whole lot of cheap material and goods into the world, including Australia. Lots of cheap bargains at the moment if you want clothes or whatever it is that you want.
Everything they make. Yeah.
Yep. And they're working on building a local support network, so they haven't come to Australia, but they've gone to Cambodia, they've gone to Vietnam, I think they've gone to Indonesia. They're looking to get to India.
Yeah.
So they're trying to build a network they can trade with that will allow them to not be so reliant on the US. And of course, Trump has started dodging and weaving on some materials like computer chips and phones, where the iPhone was going to go up from $1,190 to over $2,000, and
now after he says, well, let's make it here.
Yeah.
How much?
3.5. So that's all good and well, but yeah, it just reinforces that it was more about bullying than economic factoring. I don't think they thought it through.
Yeah, I think it's kind of backfiring just a little bit at the moment. The China thing's huge.
Yeah.
The amount of stuff that the Americans import from China is just, I mean, if that stops, it's far out.
Yeah.
Crazy. The prices are going to go through the roof.
Yep. What it has done is exactly what we suggested. The rest of the world are turning on Trump.
Yeah.
Even the international media. DW News in Germany was always 50-50. Now they are 100% against.
Yeah.
BBC always sort of had, but even Sky News Australia, which was, they were like Donald Trump's
they were kind of pro.
Yeah, they were his personal media.
Yeah.
They've even started turning on him. So it's going to be interesting to see where it ends up.
It's how long can he hold out for at these ridiculous things he's trying to get across?
Maybe 2 or 3 months, maybe. I mean, at the end of the day, the people that'll pay.
Yeah, exactly. It's the citizens of America that's going to pay, for sure. And it's meant to be make America great.
Yeah.
Not make Trump bloody great.
Well, interesting to see some of the Republican Party members that invested heavily in the stock exchange as it crashed.
Yeah.
And what shares they knew they were going to buy. Marjorie Taylor bought a bucket load of shares and has made a lot of money.
Yeah. That
really annoys me.
It's insider trading, isn't it? Obviously, they know.
One of the news cruisers captured Trump saying in the Oval Office to one of the guys, "Oh, you had a good day yesterday. You made $990 million." So the way these cohorts, ridiculous money. He's done some other stuff too this week, though, that prick my ears and your ears as well, that worry us a bit, especially from a freedom of choice, freedom of speech, democracy point of view. He's told New York to halt the offshore wind project, which I don't have a problem with. That I think is doing more damage to the ocean than we get benefit from.
Look, we got wind power everywhere in Europe, and everybody that knows anything knows it's bollocks. It's at best it's 50%, at worst it's 10%. It's just rubbish.
It is.
Yeah.
The one that worried me most this week was the cut in funding to Harvard. Forget the dollar amount; it's around $2 billion, but there was the list of demands they gave Harvard before they said we're going to cut.
Can't protest.
Can't protest.
What the?
Can't think for yourself.
Jeez.
Can't employ anybody. DEI policy's got to go. With the employees, I can half understand it, but you can't tell students what you can and can't do.
They're all about protest.
Exactly. They're all about democracy. They're all about freedom of choice and freedom of speech.
It doesn't look like democracy. It looks like authoritarianism, mate. It's just like it's getting closer to 1984 from where I'm sitting than it's ever been ever.
So that made me a bit nervous. So I don't know. Donald's had a rough week.
So So you were saying earlier, you reckon you're still on board with him at the moment? 30%?
Yeah, look, he's gone from bully, then he's tried to be the diplomat. Now he's gone back to bully again. The other thing that we've got to worry about is if he's not of healthy mind, what is he going to do with Iran, mate? He's got 2 aircraft carriers sitting up there and warning them with war.
Well, he said, but before he got in, he was like, I'm going to be the one for peace, and I'm not going to be starting any new wars. But the rest of them behind him are pushing. They've been wanting to go into Iran for ages.
Yeah.
Any excuse.
Yeah.
They want to do another Iraq.
When we were growing up, the early 1990s, it was Iran that America was defending.
Yeah.
It's been Iran that America have funded.
Mm.
And now it's Iran they're going to give a tap to. The other thing that is interesting is this. That there was a news report last night, and again, you can't believe everything you hear, but this El Salvador jail where they send all these gang members is being funded by the US government to the tune of $6 million, as long as they keep the prisoners in for a year, no trial.
Yeah.
Again, it's that whole freedom of
there's just the
choice and speech, democracy.
They stand for democracy, but that to me screams, well, the opposite of democracy. It's freaking bad. It's not good.
Yeah. So if that's the big picture stuff, what little things are going on behind the scenes that also are limiting or plan to limit freedom of democracy? The First Amendment almost looks like that. Go and park that.
Yeah. First Amendment only if you agree with what we believe in. Sort of thing. It's just, it's so shit.
I think I said in one of our earlier videos, we all need a Donald Trump in our country. Change my mind.
Well, the thing is, if everybody was a Donald Trump, then they'd all be sort of like a bit more right of centre, and maybe they'd all get along. Who knows?
Maybe. Or you'd be guaranteed World War III.
Or is it like Highlander? You have to chop each other's head off. There can be only one.
There can be only one. Those guys' ego gets in the way of good decision-making sometimes. Yeah, Liberation Day should never have been a press conference like that. He should have been negotiating with countries like he's doing now.
Yeah.
That should have been... the message he sends to the supporters he's got is one thing, but the message he sent to people that don't support him in his own country and the rest of the world wasn't good.
No.
So it's a bad look. Yeah.
Yeah, he seems to have who would have thought he would have got too big for his boots, but
no.
I think he needs to go about 10 sizes up to fit his own boots. He's just far too big.
Gone crazy. So where do you sit with you were at 30, we've gone from 75 to 40.
Well, I know you're more positive.
I'm going to change my mind, but
you're more positive than me. I'd say I'm down to 15%.
15?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't think I'd ever drop that low because I was like 75 at the beginning, 80%. But now, tactically, he's not all right. He's not doing a great job, is he?
No, he's not doing a lot for democracy.
I mean, I have watched some of his staff, like RFK Jr. I think he's doing a pretty decent job. Yeah, he was getting flogged on the polio vaccine and all the other shit. But look, I was listening to things today, and there are a lot of doctors out there that still believe and are willing to come out and say that autism, some vaccines can cause autism in some people. And there's not just one saying it.
No,
there's a lot of them, and they're top of their game. So look,
autism's really interesting. I mean, the autism rates are out of control.
Yeah, they are.
Everywhere.
Yep.
Is it because we were never identifying it earlier, or is it because people are now getting it from something?
I see what you're saying. Like when I was a kid, and I used to stare at the window, blah blah blah, couldn't be bothered listening to anybody. You were just a dumbass. But then they went, oh no, he's got ADHD, and you can't. What? He's reading that book backwards. Oh, he's got dyslexia. Fucking numbers look like letters look like I was just a dum dum. But now there's all names for it. So I've got that. That's the excuse that I'm giving you. Is it just an excuse? Nah, I don't think it is. Everybody's known there's weird kids. Everybody grew up with kids that were a bit strange.
Yeah.
And you just went, oh, that's blah blah blah. Yeah, he's a bit weird.
Mm.
And that was it. Yeah. They didn't speak to you. They didn't look at you in the eye. They've always been around. But now, I think the spectrum, instead of being up here, where you go, oh yeah, that's that weird kid. Now it's like that. And you've got a lot of people, you don't know they're autistic.
No. autism means something different these days than what it was when we were growing up. If you were autistic when we were growing up, you
were socially inept. You couldn't make eye contact.
Yeah. There was a lot more wrong with you than autistic people these days. So maybe they've softened.
More like Rain Man.
Yeah. Maybe they've softened what it means to be autistic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go 25%. I've fallen off a little bit. I'm nervous about the freedom of speech and democracy.
I'm scared about the chance of war, mate. Where Iran, that looks seriously dodgy.
I think they want to go to war with them before they're capable of fighting back.
Yeah, because they will push the button.
It just depends who supports them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, they are part of BRICS, aren't they?
They are, but I don't think Russia and China would. If they would help each other, I don't think they'd help Iran. All right, so you're at 15.
Yeah,
I'm at 25.
15%.
All right, come on, Donald. We're still ready for you, mate, but you got to be fair and reasonable.
You got to give us something decent to cheer you on with.
Exactly.
Some of this bully boy tactic, mate. It's bullshit.
Not great.
Nah.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Good day.
See ya.